Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is a familiar topic. It's all about a familiar sport, popular sport, and a favorite sport for many people. This editorial is all about cricket, India's win against New Zealand Test series. So you may think an easy one should not be a problem to comprehend this particular editorial. But this editorial, a very short editorial, a familiar topic, familiar turf, but there are so many words, about 30 words in fact. I have brought so many words for the first time from a particular editorial, that too a very short editorial. Many of these words are very important from the exam point of view, and also some of the words are new, you haven't got for the first time perhaps. So let us have a look at the words, and today it may take a lot of time to give the meanings of these words and to do the analysis. Be prepared for that. Let us start with the first one, bouts. Usually it goes with health. Someone suffers, let's say, a fever or some other disease for some time and on and off for a short period. Then we use the expression bouts of viral fever. But in this context, it has got a different meaning altogether. A short period of intense activity of a specified kind. A short period of intense activity. Good morning. In this context, it goes with cricket play. Domineering. You all know the word dominating, that is one word, and domineering. This is rather different, but the meaning more or less one and the same. Asserting one's will over another in an arrogant way. Here, will means one's determination. Assert, that's an important word. Asserting one's will over another in an arrogant way. It talks about a particular team being very good at batting or bowling. Then we use, or the entire team for that matter, we use the expression domineering. And aura, that's an important word. Usually it goes with persons, the distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person or a thing. Usually it goes with a person. It is nothing but the impact making style of a person or something that goes with a person's personality. Then we use the word aura. When you see someone, you feel like respecting and you feel like respecting that person. Based on the body language, the looks, all that. Then we say there's an aura surrounding his personality. Clinch, usually it goes with business context. Clinch means what? Let me complete this. Confirm or settle a contract or bargain. As I said, usually it goes with a business context. Confirm or settle, clinch a deal, a typical expression. They have clinched a deal, or the company has clinched a deal. In this context, confirm or settle a contract or bargain, but in this context, clinch a series means win the series. Prodigal, it has a negative connotation, surprisingly, and meaning of that, spending money or using resources freely and recklessly, wastefully extravagant. When it comes to spending money, we use words like we have positive words, we have negative words. Positive words, we use words like economical, frugal, and thrifty. You think and spend money. On the negative side, we use words like lavish, extravagant, spendthrift, prodigal. Imminent, we have got many a time. Strike is imminent, floods are imminent, likely to occur at any moment. Impending, also, the word you have to recollect. Mounted, usually this goes with if you take a statue or something, the base, the support. We use the word mounted on a plank. Organize and initiate. In this context, a different meaning altogether. Organize and initiate a campaign or other course of action. Mounted pressure, one typical combination. The team has mounted tremendous pressure on the rivals, a typical combination I would like to give. And steering, causing excitement or strong emotion, arousing, stirring, causing excitement or strong emotion. Fixture has many meanings, but in this context, a sporting event arranged to take place on a particular date, a particular match, a particular tournament, we use the word fixture. Wily, skilled at gaining an advantage, especially deceitfully. It has a subtle negative connotation, but it has been used with bowlers, especially spinners. Wily means skilled at gaining an advantage, especially deceitfully. Spinners very difficult to guess. So based on that, the word has been used. Otherwise, the word has a generally speaking a negative connotation. Vogue, we have got many a time. It goes with the fashion industry, something that is popular or fashionable in the limelight, a particular fashion, popular, in vogue. It takes a preposition, standard phrase, in vogue. Consecutive, following one another in order without gaps. Without gaps, something follows. Consecutive wins. And augurs is an important word to be a sign of good or bad, especially good or bad things in the future. Something happens that may serve or indicate something good or bad likely to happen in future, augurs, but usually it has a positive connotation. Exalted. It also, one of the meanings, the problem with this, not exactly a problem, it looks a very short editorial, familiar topic, but there are so many words, that is one thing. You have to spend a lot of time. And the second dimension you have to focus on, almost all the words, they have two or three meanings, not one meaning. And exalted, one of the meanings, very happy, ecstatic. But here, to raise to a higher level, exalted standards, a typical combination. Ambushed, we have got many a time. It goes with predators, it also goes with people, businesses. A surprise attack by people lying in wait in a concealed position. Someone hides usually behind a bush and attacks. Predators also. Then we use the word ambush. Stumble, we have got many a time. It goes with everyday English. Trip or momentarily lose one's balance. Almost fall. You hit a stone, then you stumble. You don't fall, but almost fall. Invincible, an important word, though we have got many a time. Too powerful to be defeated or overcome. In the past, they would use a typical combination, invincible king, but now we don't have kings. Now it goes with the spirit, the attitude, invincible spirit, invincible attitude. Means your spirit, your attitude cannot be defeated. That way, it's an important word. You all should have that invincible spirit. I feel better. Today, also, I have a bad throat, but better, much better. Adept, skilled. Adapt, we have got many a time, but you have to recollect. Adopt, adapt, adapt. Three different words. Halo, a circle of light shown around or above the head of a saint or holy person. This goes with religion, mythology, to represent their holiness. You see someone and a circle of light around or above the head. Then we use this term. Prescient, a new word we have got for the first time, having or showing knowledge of events before they take place. In a way, to have the sixth sense or clairvoyance, there's another word, ability to predict what is going to happen in future. Grapple, we have got many a time. Struggle with something or someone, grapple with problems. Beckon, we have got. There is one idiomatic expression, at someone's beck and call. Beckon means to call or signal by a motion, either wave your hand or nod your head. And sparkling performance, sparkle. You all know Diwali time we buy sparklers. In this context, it means shining brightly with flashes of light. Overwhelmed. Someone's performance is very good. Then what do you say? Overwhelming. Have a strong emotional effect on someone. Splendid also goes with, it's a positive word, performance, splendid performance, magnificent, very impressive. Diaspora, an important word. A group of people, imagine a lot of Indians from India, they have they have gone to Canada, or the US and settled over there. Then, for those people, we use the word diaspora, an important word, a group of people who spread from one original country to other countries. Clout, it has many meanings. Usually, it goes with business and politics. Clout means influence or power, especially in politics or business. That's what I've just said. So there are about 30 words. Some more words are there, but I haven't brought in the sense you have learned, you have got many a time. So, in my opinion, this editorial, that's the reason why I say never take anyone for granted, never take anything for granted. A very short editorial, a familiar topic, all about cricket. You may think, what is a big deal? Why should I read this editorial? I may not learn something from the language point of view. No, there is so much to learn, important expressions, important dispersion of people. That's right. Important phrases and so many words, in fact. Now, let us go to the editorial and see how it starts and the main idea of the editorial at home. Generally, when someone comes, visits you, then you say, you welcome that person and say, feel at home. Feel at home means what? Be comfortable. But in this context, at home, it is important in the sense you cannot use a preposition in. That's a common error. In home is not correct, at home is correct. That's one thing. And at home has many meanings. Feel at home, be comfortable. And coming to the main idea of the editorial, so in this context, what does it mean at home? When it comes to playing a particular match in India, Indians are very good, or the team is very good. But overseas, it's a different game altogether. India won the cricket bouts against New Zealand, but the challenge overseas is different. So, this editorial talks about winning the matches or the tournaments or the test series at home, back in the backyard. There's one expression is to a great extent easy for Indians, but playing overseas, that is a bit different. India won the cricket bouts against New Zealand, but the challenge overseas is different. Let us have a look at the clauses. India is a subject, one verb, one what? The cricket bouts against New Zealand. Against New Zealand, sure, thank you very much. Against New Zealand, that is an important phrase. But here, India won the cricket bouts. There's one important word. Bouts, I think it goes with boxing as well. It has got so many meanings. This editorial I have brought intentionally. One of the reasons there are so many words to learn. Besides, every word has one or two meanings, the primary meaning, the secondary meaning, the tertiary meaning. So that way, it provides an insight. Words, you can't take things for granted. Sometimes you have to learn the different meanings. Only then, especially when it comes to the passage, they ask the meanings based on the context, and this is very useful from that point of view. Bouts in this context, a short period of intense activity of a specified kind or specific kind. India won the cricket bouts against New Zealand. That means it is about a test series and also, I think, one day internationals. Bouts against New Zealand, one clause, India won. But contrasting information, the challenge overseas is different. The challenge overseas, that's a noun phrase, is different. A verb is, it is in present tense. So the entire editorial talks about within the country, India winning the matches, that is one thing, whether it is one days or test series. And it says overseas, it's a different game altogether. Obviously, the reason being, what happens when Indians go abroad or other players come here, there's a change in the weather conditions and the food changes, the weather is different, everything is different, and they have to get used to this particular weather, specific weather. It may take some time. So when a particular team goes abroad, it's definitely quite challenging and it is different. India's domineering cricketing aura, especially in its backyard, this is an important phrase you have to remember. In the past, we would have, today also we have, but a few independent houses. So imagine independent house, then we use terms like the front yard, the backyard, the open space in front of the house or building, and the open space behind. We use the backyard. In its backyard, in this context, it means within the country. India's domineering. There's one important, thank you very much, Sai Arvind. I don't think I deserve that. Domineering means what? Asserting one's will over another in an arrogant way. But actually, it has a negative connotation. In this context, it means a particular team very strong and the other team not that strong. Cricketing aura, this is an important word. Aura means what? That distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person or thing. As I said, some people, when you see them, you feel like respecting and you feel they are different. They have a lot of stuff and they're highly talented. And it is not written on the face, but it is non-verbal communication. You feel, then we use the expression aura. It goes only with a few people. In this context, it is about the team. India's domineering cricket aura, especially in its backyard, means within the country, was further reiterated, was further reiterated. Here it is in past, and also when you come across FARTHER, farther, that talks about the distance, further, in addition, was further reiterated. We have got this. As I said, I haven't brought many words. The number could be, in fact, had I brought all the words, important words from this editorial, the number would have been, say, 40 plus words. But many words we have been getting. So I thought, no point. This itself will take a lot of time. Further reiterated. Reiterate means what? To say something again and again, one meaning, or to emphasize something. Was further reiterated at the conclusion of the test series involving New Zealand at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium on Monday. A lengthy sentence, but it talks about India's domineering cricketing aura. It talks about the team's expertise or the team's ability to win within the country, whether it is one day or a test series, especially in its backyard within the country, was further was further reiterated at the conclusion of the test series involving New Zealand at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium on Monday. Because on Monday that goes into past, we have to use past tense. We cannot use present perfect. The emphatic 372 run triumph, another word which I haven't brought, triumph, we have got many a time, means what? Victory, to become victorious. In the second test, helped Virat Kohli's men clinch the series at 1-0. This sentence talks about the idea India winning the test series within the country, and it is nothing but reiteration of the domineering cricketing aura that goes with Indian team. And it provides the background information against which team, against New Zealand. This sentence talks about, the second sentence talks about very specific, the emphatic, emphasize, stress something, make something look important. 372 run triumph victory in the second test helped Virat Kohli's men clinch the test series at 1-0. So clinch usually it goes with business context, clinch the deal, business deal. And in this, literally, what does it mean? Confirm or settle a contract or bargain. In this context, it means victory, clinch the series, win the series. And there's one important verb over here. The moment you see help, make, get, you have to think of causative verbs and the rule that goes with causative verbs. In the exam, they may give, in fact, they've given so many times, helped Virat Kohli's men to clinch. Intentionally, they use a preposition to here. If I have to give a question, I may use the same sentence. The emphatic 372 run triumph in the second test helped Virat Kohli's men to clinch the series at 1-0. Then it is not correct. What is the reason? Causative verbs like make, help, and get, they don't take the preposition to in active voice, but in passive voice, they do take the preposition to. This climax emerged. It provides information about the test series, the first test, the second test. This climax emerged after New Zealand mounted a stirring resistance in the opening drawn fixture at Kanpur when Ajinkya Rahane led India in Kohli's absence. So here it talks about the first test. What happened? It was a draw. You all must be knowing. This climax, second test, the climax. This climax emerged. It is in past tense after New Zealand mounted a stirring resistance. There are two words, or three words, in fact, in this sentence. One is mounted, organize and initiate a campaign or other course of action. In this context, initiating the resistance or organizing, not exactly organizing, providing or showing resistance, show resistance, and also initiate resistance. Generally, we use the word mount with the word pressure, mounting pressure. There's a lot of pressure. The pressure is mounting, typical expressions. This climax emerged after New Zealand mounted a stirring resistance. Stirring, again, it may go with a negative context, it may go with a positive context, causing excitement or strong emotion, arousing. In this context, it is positive. A stirring resistance in the opening drawn fixture, drawn, any silent sometimes, fixture. In this context, a sporting event arranged to take place on a particular date. So he talks about the first test fixture in this context. At Kanpur, when Rahane led India in Kohli's absence. So what exactly happened the first test? It has been simple idea how the idea has been expressed. You have to look at the words, and it shows to what extent the writer is good at vocabulary. The Indian template at home. The word template, again, it goes with design. All these are slides. If you take a PowerPoint presentation, we have the slides, and for every slide, there's a template that goes with design context. But here, the Indian template at home, it means the framework at home. It is something positive, the writer says. What is it? Runs on the board, one thing. Wily spinners on the mark. Wily, that's an important word. Skilled at gaining an advantage, especially deceitfully. Spinners are unpredictable, one thing. And if the pitch is really good, very difficult for great players also to face the spin because it becomes unpredictable. And in this context, that's what the word means. Not negative, in a way, it is positive. The Indian template at home, the framework, the board, or the base is something positive, runs on the board, and wily spinners on the mark was in vogue. It is in past, but there's one important phrase in vogue. Vogue means what? It goes with fashion industry, popular, fashionable. In vogue, something is in vogue. Long hair for guys. At one point, because of Dhoni, it was in vogue. Now it is not in vogue. And there was nothing much the black caps could do. Black caps here, it refers to, the expression refers to New Zealand team. There was nothing they could do. It goes into past, especially after a regular skipper, Kane Williamson, missed the final test with an injury. Their captain was not there, and in his absence, there was nothing they could do. And that could be one of the reasons they had to lose the match or the test. So, this sentence, again, a lengthy sentence, and some important words like wily, in vogue, and there was nothing much the black caps could do. Sometimes we say, I could not do anything, I could have done something. So, you have to remember it goes with the past context, especially after regular skipper Kane Williamson missed the final test with an injury. The latest victorious outing in the longest format. What is the longest format here? Test series. Test is the longest. The latest victorious outing in the longest format was India's 14th consecutive Test series win at home since 2012 December. So here, consecutive means what? Following one another in order without gaps. And this is a 14th consecutive Test series win at home since 2012 December, when the visiting England squad ambushed the host, riding on Kevin Peterson, Graham Swan, and Monty Panesar, all England players. And that time they lost the series. After that, it has been consecutive wins. So here it talks about there's one important word, ambush. The word ambush goes with animals, especially predators. It also goes with terrorists sometimes, and soldiers also, army. Ambush means what? A surprise attack by people lying in wait in a concealed position. You hide somewhere, usually behind a bush, and you try to attack. Then we use the word ambush. So it talks about the consecutive wins after since 2012. That time they lost against England. Batters obviously feeling at home, seamers adept at swing, both conventional and reverse, and spinners headlined by a remarkable R. Ashwin have all contributed in nursing India's blinding halo in a familiar environment. Familiar means home turf. This talks about what has brought in the success, the victory. Batters Batsmen obviously feeling at home, comfortable. Seamers, the fast bowlers, adept at swing. Adept, an important word, though we have got many a time. Skilled at swing, both conventional and reverse. And spinners, headlined by a remarkable R. Ashwin. I think Ashwin has done extremely well in this test series, have all contributed in nursing. Nursing in this context means in developing blinding India's blinding halo. When the light is too bright, you say it. I could not see anything. The light was so bright that it was like blind. It blinded me. So blinding halo in a familiar environment. What is a familiar? No, that is tremble with fear. Tremble is different. Stumble is different. Both are different. That is not the right combination. Tremble with fear. Here, stumble means to trip. You hit a stone, then you stumble. Australian, so based on that, perhaps it was prescient, an important word we have got for the first time. Adept means skilled, obviously. So here, prescient, having or showing knowledge of events before they take place. Before something happens, you say something is going to happen. In a way, it is predicting. So this refers to perhaps it was prescient of former Australian skipper Steve Waugh to refer to India as a final frontier 2 decades ago. He must have said something like, when it comes to test series, India is a final frontier. And as the last fortnight revealed, the fortress remains intact. See, one sentence, I appreciate this writer. I don't know who has written this editorial. Short editorial, he has used so many important words. It shows to what extent he is good at writing. And as a last fortnight, what is the meaning of the word fortnight? It means 2 weeks or 15 days. Usually we say a time period of 2 weeks. Revealed, disclose, to make something public. The fort or the fortress remains intact, means the same image, the same condition. It remains intact, not changed, not damaged. The sparkling performance at Mumbai and the earlier 3-0 sweep in the 2020 internationals against the same rival and sweep also helped new coach Rahul Dravid step in on a winning note. Step in on a winning note, an important phrase. The sparkling performance, sparkling means shining brightly with flashes of light, something quite a period of 2 weeks, that's right. uh, Sparkling performance. Remember the combinations, very important. Quite impressive. Splendid also can be used. The sparkling performance at Mumbai and the earlier 3-0 sweep. 3-0 means the rivals could not win one test also. In the 2020 internationals, 3-0 sweep in the 2020 internationals against the same rival competitor also helped new coach Rahul Dravid step in on a winning note. Step in on a winning note, that's an important phrase. But as Dravid pointed out, New Zealand competed hard at varying points, especially in Kanpur. The first test, it was quite interesting, I suppose, and the competition was, they competed hard. When you see the word hard, you have to recollect the other adverb. Hard can be an adjective, it can be an adverb. He works hard, adverb. He's a hard worker, adjective. He hardly works. It has a negative connotation that you have to recollect. At varying points, especially in Kanpur. Even if the unit got overwhelmed in the subsequent clash, that means the New Zealanders they got overwhelmed in the subsequent clash. Later, the second test, left-arm spinner Azaz Patel's perfect 10 in the first innings, following in the footsteps of Jim Laker and Anil Kumble, was a splendid feat. So it talks about New Zealand bowler got 10 wickets, and that is definitely splendid. Splendid means a magnificent, quite impressive. And in the footsteps of Jim Laker and Anil Kumble, the Mumbai-born New Zealand immigrants' excellence. This guy Patel, born in Mumbai but migrated to New Zealand. New Zealand immigrants' excellence reflected the Indian diaspora's increasing sporting clout across the shores. Again, so many words. One is diaspora. A lot of Indians are in the US, are in Australia, are in so many countries. And when we talk about those Indians settled in the US or some foreign country, we use the word diaspora, an important word. Increasing sporting clout. Clout in this context means a power, influence, but usually it goes with politics and business across the shores, across countries, across shores. This was a return of the prodigal, but with a twist. This was, in the past, the return of the prodigal, spending money or using resources freely and recklessly, wastefully extravagant. But I don't know why this has been used in this context. This was a return of the prodigal. Perhaps it talks about the bowler, but with a twist. And as the pandemic throws up variants while India looks ahead at the imminent tour of South Africa, it is not essentially a perfect slate. It talks about the future. As a pandemic throws up variants, we all know now we talk about Omicron, while India looks ahead at the imminent tour. Imminent, an important word. It means what? Likely to occur at any moment, something that is going to happen. You should recollect the word impending. It is not essentially a perfect slate, it means some sort of uncertainty. A series may have been won despite the absence of Rohit Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah. I think these two players were not there. A series may have been won despite the absence of two great players, one Rohit Sharma and the other Jasprit Bumrah, and the excellence of Ashwin, Shreyas Iyer, Mayank Agarwal, Akshar Patel, to name a few, augurs well. This is an important word. To be a sign of especially good or bad things in the future. In this context, good. Yet, the poor yields from Rahane, Chateshwar Pujara, and even Kohli, by his exalted standards, are a cause for worry. This is an important word, exalted, to raise to a higher level. It talks about the standards. So, this is a cause for worry, an important expression. How does the editorial end? Having won his bouts against poor form during a storied career, this talks about Dravid having won his bouts against poor form. Usually, players, if you take any field for that matter, cricket or football or shuttle, sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't play well. Then we use the word expressions like bad patch, bad form. It's quite common, quite natural. We are not machines. You can't expect the same player to win all the time, the same team to win all the time. That is practically impossible. Having won his bouts against poor form during a storied career, Dravid understands the challenges that his core group of batters are grappling with. Core group, the most important group, generally it goes with the business companies. I have given the expression many a time. Core competency. If you talk to a particular, visit a particular company, talk to the person, the representative, he or she may use the expression our core competency means the most important skill or expertise. Core group of batters are grappling with. Bad form, it's quite natural in any sport, grapple with, to struggle with something or someone. Now, what is the solution? A turnaround means complete U turn is needed as a crucial overseas tour beckons. Now they have to change all the three players. What is the reason? A turnaround, complete change is expected. That means from negative to positive. As a crucial overseas tour beckons, beckon to call or signal by a motion, as a wave or nod. It is nothing but it talks about the overseas tour to South Africa. It is on the cards, so the form has to be changed from negative to positive. So that's all about this editorial. So many words. Now let us go to idioms, phrasal verbs, and phrases based on effective. They all go with effective English. At home, feel at home, a standard expression means what? Be comfortable. So many words, in fact. In its backyard, in its front yard, in its backyard. Now we don't have, because of apartment culture, because of complexes, apartment complexes. The question, uh, a separate class on collocations, fine. Backyard, front yard, only in villages perhaps you come across as of now. Helped clinch the series. In the exam, they may give help to clinch the series, but you have to recollect the causative verbs like help, make, and get. They don't take the preposition to in active voice, but they do take in passive voice. In someone's absence, in the master's absence, in the director's absence, in Kohli's absence, that's a standard phrase. You can also use opposite in his presence, in someone's presence, in someone's absence. Template at home. The word template goes with design templates. In fact, today we have so many design companies. They sell the templates based on the needs of the clients. Template at home means a broad framework. In vogue, an important expression. Something is in vogue. Adept at reading, adept at writing, adept at talking. An important word. And do remember the prepositional combination. Blinding halo. That means you can't see anything. It is so bright, it is so powerful. It goes with usually. Uh, yes, thank you very much. 1,000 followers on an academy. Sure, sure, I will do that. Thanks a lot for that. So, remain intact. Something remains intact means what? Not damaged, not spoiled, in the same shape, in the same form. This is also an important expression. Sparkling performance, splendid performance, sparkling performance, important expressions. And you all know at the time of Diwali, the festival, kids especially, they enjoy burning sparklers, lighting sparklers. On a winning note, I would like to close it on a winning note, someone may say in the speech, or enter on a step in. Step in, an important expression. Step in, step out, on a winning note, on a losing note. Across countries, across the shores, you have got across the preposition, across the street. That is also a typical phrase that goes with everyday English. Imminent tour, likely to happen. In so many competitive exams, more than 10 times they have given, when it comes to misspelt words and inappropriate words, they have used this pair. One is eminent, the other one imminent. I don't know the reason, but more than 10 times. Perhaps students get confused between these two words. Eminent goes with persons, eminent scientist, eminent personality, eminent doctor means what? Renowned, someone with international reputation, someone who is highly successful. And imminent goes with a situation, floods, strike, and victory also sometimes imminent, likely to happen. Do remember these two words. A cause for worry. Here you have to focus on the preposition. Cause for worry and grapple with, struggle with either a person or a thing or a situation. What is this editorial about? See, this editorial, what surprised me, I was in two minds whether to bring this one or to bring the other editorial, which is about friendship between India and Russia related to polity, but and also foreign policy. I thought this is better. The reason being, 40 plus if you look at the editorial very carefully and you select all the effective words, I'm sure this editorial has about 50 words to learn. Vijay Kumar, this is what I have been telling students since for the last 5 years. Since 2017, I joined a particular, I started giving my services to a particular organization. Since 2017, I have been telling students, please remember when it comes to selection, here there are three stages. Some exams only two stages, but some you have the third stage, interview and group discussion. Prelims, a lot of people clear with 6 months preparation, not a big deal. That is also a great accomplishment. I don't want to look down upon that. Beyond any doubt, imagine 30 lakh candidates appear, average bank exams. Out of 30 lakh, about 10,000 selected, they clear prelims. That itself is great accomplishment. No second thoughts about that, and no one can deny that fact. But that does not help. Imagine first year you clear your prelims. I know so many students, they say, sir, we have been clearing prelims, but we are not able to clear mains, and final selection we are missing a few marks. You have to think twice. Please listen, I want to spend 5 minutes on this, because this is, if you grasp this particular tip, you take very seriously, success is going to be inevitable. No one can stop. Then you have to contemplate, introspect, and wonder what is the reason I'm able to clear prelims every year, year after year. Why not the mains, and why not the final selection? What is the difference between those who are getting and getting selected and those who are not getting selected? Again, if you take from this to 10,000, they may take 2,000. I'm talking about PO. Why this 2,000? What is that they have and what is that I don't have? You have to contemplate. Usually, when it comes to the final selection, the most important factor, the deciding factor, reading comprehension skill and vocabulary, these two go hand in hand. And these two, and the third dimension, when it comes to English, we have three dimensions. One is reading comprehension skill, the second vocabulary, the third grammar. Grammar you can master in 2 months. Today there's so much information available, plethora of websites, plethora of videos. You don't need a master in the real sense. If you're passionate to learn English grammar, you can learn on your own because of the sources. 2 months you can master English grammar. But to master reading comprehension skill and vocabulary, you need minimum 6 months. I tell students, those with the regional language background, Telugu medium or Tamil medium, and not convent educated, not good at English, past does not matter. You need to spend 6 months to 9 months, but to become good at these two. How is it going to happen? You have to ask the question. You have to read every day. Read what the Hindu. Then why should you read the Hindu editorials and headlines? When you do that, you come across a lot of words, a lot of expressions, a lot of combinations, and you improve your awareness, reading ability. That will fetch the job. As simple as that. I will give you an example. One of my students, he would get single digit 3 marks when he came to me. 3 marks. He himself told me he would get three in English. Eventually, he got 30 in one particular exam, and he got IBPS PO, IBPS clerk. A journey of, say, about 9 months. What brought in that change? He started reading the Hindu paper. He started following the tips, maintaining separate notebooks, and obviously 9 months he got two jobs. Where is 3 marks? Where is 30? Can you see the difference? Poles apart. So do read. It is like this. I can give the combinations one session. Let's say 50 combinations. There may be thousands of combinations and important combinations. How do you know? Only when you read the newspaper, you come across these important combinations. In the exam, the moment you see something triggers, you know, this is the right combination. I have already read. They get registered at the subconscious level, and that will definitely help in the long run. Please don't depend on, I will definitely do one or two videos, combinations, prepositional combinations, collocation, but that is not going to help in the real sense. You have to read. Don't shun or don't avoid reading. Today, all of you, please remember, after this, I'll go to the editorial questions. If you are serious about getting selected, if you don't want your efforts to go down the drain or go to the dogs, do remember there's only one thing you have to do besides whatever you have been doing. Read the newspaper, the Hindu paper, editorials and headlines every day, and maintain three notebooks, one for words, and the second for effective English, and third for editorials in your own sentences. When you do this, you can clear your prelims, your mains, and the descriptive paper that makes or breaks your selection. And the same topics that touch group discussion and interview. The path is crystal clear, and if you follow this, absolutely no problem. Nothing can stop. Now let us go to, thank you very much. Who is this? Venkata Srinivas. I also cleared IBPS clerk with your suggestions. Thanks a lot for that positive feedback. No, you can definitely achieve success. You all deserve success. See, what sometimes I feel bad. A lot of youngsters, diligent, intelligent, passionate, and working day in and day out to get success, but they skip one particular thing, reading. Definitely, that is not a good thing. You all deserve success, but do remember one thing is a must. What is it? Reading a newspaper is a must. Do remember, it is like Hobson's choice. What is the meaning of Hobson's choice? No choice at all. Now let us go to what is this editorial about? You can write because so many words are there. What helped Virat Kohli's men clinch the series at 1-0? In the context of the editorial, what was in vogue? Again, focus on the key words. Who contributed in nursing India's blinding halo in a familiar environment? Who referred to India as a final frontier 2 decades ago? Easy to answer. That's it. Now, I could not delete these slides. Don't look at these slides because there was no time for me. And I brought only the editorial vocabulary. No practice questions to work on today. Those slides from I think, Monday. Sorry about that. I could not delete those slides. Today, actually, I have a bad throat, one thing, and I was damn sure 30 plus words. We may not get time to work on practice questions. So let us work on editorial vocabulary. Please have a look at the first one and try to get the meaning of that word. So, what is the meaning of clinch? At the outset, part of speech, then the meaning. Clinch is a regular verb. Clinch, clinched, clinched. What does it mean? Oh, who is this? Gurvani. Good morning. Welcome to the session. One, someone says F, succeed in obtaining. Very good. That is the answer. Claim also, you can say. Prodigal. It has a negative connotation. I'm surprised why the writer has used in this particular context. Taking wickets lavishly, 10 wickets perhaps, in that context he must have used. Prodigal, it's a noun. And what does it mean? I have given a synonym. I have brought the synonym, spendthrift. Prodigal, spendthrift, lavish, extravagant, they all mean the same. Imminent strike, imminent floods, imminent victory. So it has to be adjective. What does it mean? Likely to happen. D is the answer. Vogue, in vogue. Do remember, vogue in fashion. It's a noun. What does it mean? And you have to recollect vogue, vague. Vague means what? Not clear, ambiguous, obscure. And vogue goes with the fashion industry. Means popular, in fashion, fashionable. J. Augur. Augured. It's a regular verb. What does it mean? Be a sign of good or bad going to happen in future. Answer is A. Exalted. That's what I've been telling students. If you take 30 marks bank exams, grammar only 5 marks, 25 marks reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. When it comes to mains, almost all you can say grammar, not even one or two, rarely. In one exam, they give all the passages. Passages and vocabulary means what? Reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. These two matter. Exalted mean exalted standards. That means adjective. And what does it mean? Raised to a higher level. Answer is H. Ambush, ambushed. It's a regular verb. It can be a noun, verb, noun. And what does it mean? Surprise attack by people while hiding behind something or in a concealed position. B is the answer. Invincible spirit, indomitable spirit. You have to recollect the word indomitable, invincible, attitude, spirit. You all should have invincible attitude, invincible spirit that you're going to achieve success. That helps in the long run. So obviously it is adjective. What does it mean? Be a sign that is this is over. This is over. Very powerful. Answer is C. Not cannot be defeated. Adept means skilled. Easy one. Adept adjective. Adept driver, adept cook. Who is this? Venkateshwarlu. Thank you very much. I've been doing for the last 6 months, since May, my own channel, Murthy's. So adept is an adjective, means what? Skilled. Diaspora, Indian diaspora, excuse me. That's an important word. And what does it mean? It's a noun. It means a group of people spread out in different countries. G is the answer. Who has got all the 10 correct? I appreciate those students. Not easy. 10 out of 10, Yakub. That's wonderful. And all of you remember, before I wind up the session, English is one of the components. Then you have this uh, quant, you have reasoning, and you also have obviously current affairs. A lot of students focus on current affairs at the fag end of the preparation before exam. Not good. From day one, you have to be in touch with, keep abreast of the latest happenings. That habit helps in the long run. And imagine you're good at current affairs, you're good at English, and many candidates are good at quant and reasoning. You will get selected. And for many candidates, the Achilles heel is English, and they know to a great extent they're good at current affairs. So you have to focus on English and go in the right direction. No one can stop you, nothing can stop you. Sure, I will do that. Thank you very much for the concern, Nagamaleshwari. All of you have a nice day. Thanks for being with me. What time is it? And I will see you guys tomorrow morning with